After just a point in our last game, we need a win today to keep our Turkish title race alive. I know many people feel we made the wrong decision moving to Fenerbahce, and they might be right, you know. They've been splashing the cash back at Sampdoria since we left. They bought in 4 players during the January transfer window, including a familiar name to people that watched the previous series we did in FM22, and they are in pretty good form. Their new manager is Mladen Kristajic, and he has made a good start to life. It's not the best coach in the world, but he's paid significantly more than we were, and they're having a good old time in Genoa. They've managed to put together a good little run of form. They're unbeaten in, the last 5? They've only lost once in the last 8, and they've climbed as high as 12th place in Serie A. They're certainly looking up the table, I think, rather than down. They're 7 points away from city rivals Genoa in the hunt for Europe, but we've got our own little hunt going on as well. And that hunt is the job hunt, of course. We're in for one. Stuttgart are without a manager, currently 9th place in the Bundesliga, so they're going to be pretty safe. In fact, they're only 7 points themselves away from European qualification. We've been turned down for a couple of jobs. Roberto Mancini was sacked by Porto. They didn't offer us an interview, and although it's not really a club that I'm on board with, the RB Leipzig job was available, and that is a big job, so as a true mercenary, I applied for it. They didn't offer us an interview either. We have lost out on a job as well. We had an offer to go and manage Lyon in France at the end of this season, but it cancelled that when we took the Fenerbahce job, so the job hunt starts anew, and Stuttgart is as good an opportunity as we've got in the current climate. But managers are being sacked left, right and centre at the moment, and plenty of good jobs are going to become available pretty soon. We'll keep you updated on that job hunt, but we've got to turn our attention to domestic action today because it's a bit of a big game. Fortunately, we have all of our big players back available to us. We've been without Zeki Etley for a couple of matches. He's back in the side today, reigniting his first choice centre-back partnership with Vedat as well. Those two are going to have a busy afternoon today, so I'm glad we've got our first choice centre-backs available, but we're also going to need a little bit more from our front players. Chukovin was quiet against Trabzonspor, and the other worry is Temel, because a bid has come in for him from Al Ittihad. I've not accepted it, the board have, because it meets his minimum fee release clause. I'm hoping that he might turn them down, but even if he accepts, I don't believe he'll be moving before the summer, so we should at least have his services for the rest of this campaign. Hopefully, it doesn't distract him from his performance this afternoon. The game against Besiktas is going to be a tough one. If we lose it, I think we're completely out of the title race. If we were to win it, we would go on to 55 points. Besiktas would be on 56, and we're going to need Trabzon to slip up, because if they win, they would be on 57. But if we could get the victory today, we are well and truly in the hunt. Let's show you the background on our opponents in the Scout Report. Today we're up against our Istanbul rivals Besiktas, a team that came second in the league last season, but are top of the table this. With Brazilian coach Nobre at the helm, Besiktas have been in strong form in the league, with players such as former Chelsea man Lewis Hall influential. Whichever team is victorious in this tie will have a huge advantage in the title battle as Besiktas take on Fenerbahce. And the game is underway. It is, of course, a crucial one. How many more crucial games will we have left in FM22? Not so sure. I'm thinking we'll do about 2 more seasons of Mercenary, and then FM23 is going to be just around the corner. I've got a fair idea of where I might go for FM23, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts as well. What leagues would you like to see us manage in? What nations do you think might be interesting destinations? What stipulations of save do you think might be intriguing? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. We've got through a fair old part of this game before we've hit any highlights. They've come for us. Might we have just won a penalty there as well? There could be a push in the box, which could give us a vital way into this game. The penalty is indeed awarded. Now we've got to score it. Is it Chukovin that's going to be stepping up for us? It is indeed. And he's dispatched it low past the keeper into the corner of the net. We're 1-0 up against a Besiktas side that were top of the table. I guess we also need to keep an eye on the Trabzonspor result as well, because if we can hold on to this victory, things could be going our way. We've thrown out a little praise shout. Trabzonspor are locked at 1-1 with Sivasspor in their game. Our rivals Besiktas have not had a shot in the entire first half, even though they're the home side. We've got an XG above a 2. Maybe we should have found a second goal. I think that's what we'll tell the players to hunt for in the second half. We could do with that second goal, I think, because Besiktas have had 3 shots at the start of the second period, so they've clearly rallied, and we're also keeping an eye on this result down here as Trabzonspor take on Sivasspor. We have got a free kick. We're on the hour mark. It's way over from Mora, unfortunately. Not even sure why free kicks that wild warrant a highlight. And on 70 minutes, I think it's time for us to look at making some changes to the 11 we've got out on the pitch. We've got one highlight to navigate before we get there. It's a corner to Besiktas. They've headed it over. I think we can pause the game, go into our tactic, make a couple of changes, while Trabzonspor are still locked at 1-1. We've made a change in central midfield, and we've also made one out in the wings where Umit wasn't playing very well. Hopefully his replacement will be a little bit more effective. We've got Vedat stepping out of defence, bringing the ball forward. I don't think our substitutions have gone through yet, as Chukovin fires an effort at the goal that their keeper saves. Now those substitutions are happening. We've had 18 shots. We've got an XG of above a 3. Besiktas have offered more in the second half than they did in the first. This game is finally poised. For our last change, we've just taken Temel off. He was on a 6.9. Not disastrous, but not good enough to stay on the field. Maybe he needs a good rest, but that is as good a result as we could have hoped for, I think. According to the XG, we should have added to our tally, but we will take a 1-0 win. The crucial thing to find out now is, how did the Trabzonspor game finish? And the answer is, it's ended in agony for us. Ecstasy for Trabzonspor, who've scored an 88th minute winner in their game against Sivasspor. They've leapt above Besiktas. They're top of the table on 57 points. We are now in third on 55, but there's still plenty of football to be played. 7 league games to go. Plenty of opportunities for all those teams to drop points. And we're also still in the Turkish Cup at the semi-final stage. So whichever game we come back for next, it's going to be a big one.